So what I want to talk about today is the power of AI and what that means for your business. So you've heard me talk a little bit in the past at our last year's session and other sessions throughout the year and webinars about the power of generative AI. So the capability introduced with OpenAI's ChatGPT and their other products has really created a brave new world for us in terms of interacting with search, interacting with data. It's just taken all of that to a new level. So ChatGPT became the first ever product to go from 0 to 100 million users in just 2 months. I mean, typically that has taken many years to get that many users to adopt a product, but it was such a big change that it overwhelmed everybody and people jumped right on in. So Microsoft is investing very heavily in this new technology through their product they're calling Copilot, which is powered by the same engine that is used to power ChatGPT. So Copilot itself is going to bring about a number of changes that you'll be able to see like right now, which we'll talk a little about throughout the day and in the near future. So there's a huge opportunity to really rethink the way that you do customer service using chatbots and using Microsoft's Copilot Studio or virtual agents. So there's a huge opportunity there. There's a huge opportunity just generating content, whether it's for your knowledge base articles, whether it's emails you're sending to clients, whether it's PowerPoints you're creating, OneNotes that you're summarizing, meetings that you're summarizing. There's a ton of new capability there that you can use today. And I also want you to be thinking a little bit about how AI and machines are going to interact in the very near future and how that's going to take a further step into how you can rethink your business and revolutionize your business. So we're starting to see some self-driving cars out there, but that is really going to take hold here in the next 3 to 5 years, where you're going to see more and more autonomous and self-driving vehicles. And if you just think about all of the trucking your businesses do today and the potential that that could be automated or run autonomously, what does that mean for the way you deliver products today? Also, you're seeing in manufacturing floors quite a few robots that are doing various different things, but we're again on the cusp of seeing more and more practical robots that will be able to do more and more things on the manufacturing floor, that'll even be able to do household products for you. Over the holidays, I was at a bar restaurant and they had a robot who was just taking dishes from one area of the restaurant and moving them back to the dishwasher. And that was a pretty simplistic robot, but those are the kinds of things you're going to continue to see here over these next few years. So if you step back and think, with all this change going on, is this a time to rethink how you do business? So one of the books I recently finished was a book called 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. It's a great book, by the way, and it really got me thinking about how we're at an inflection point here with AI and how we can use some of the thinking that they talked about in that book as a way for us to rethink how we do things. So the 2X approach is really thinking about growing incrementally, and then a 10X approach is thinking about taking a big leap. So as you think about your company's future growth, are you thinking about it more as growing incrementally? So that would be, you're kind of doing the same things you're doing today, but you're looking for incremental improvements where you can. So if you can optimize a process and make something a little bit better, you certainly want to do that, but you want to get to double your revenue by basically doing the same things that you're doing today, just a little bit smarter and making small improvements along the way. And what I would challenge you is, I think it's time to think about more of a 10X thinking approach. So in 10X thinking, you think about it differently. You think about, what are my strengths as an organization? What is it that we do really well as a business? What does the market need? What are we matching up with the market needs for? And then how can I meet that market with my strengths in a more efficient way? Maybe there's a different way we can accomplish it. And are there ways to use this capability within AI to rewire the business? So maybe there's a different way that you go to market, or there's a different way that you transport your product, or different way that you do distribution, or the channels that you sell through based on the power that's within AI. So I really encourage you to take a few moments and step back and think about your business. Are there ways we can do things differently now, taking advantage of the power of AI? So that all sounds great, Eric, but where do we start? So how do I make this 10x leap? And so one of the ways that I've been thinking about it that I think is really great way to step back and think about it is using this concept of a flywheel. So you may have seen a flywheel before. If you can imagine one, it's a mechanical flywheel that's like a rowing machine. Once it starts spinning, it takes a lot of effort to get it moving, but once it starts moving, it gets going faster and faster and faster. So that same kind of principle can apply to business as well too. So in business terms, the flywheel effect occurs when small wins start to accumulate over time and creating a feedback loop that propels growth, or one thing leads to another, which leads to another, which makes that original thing even better. So these wins continue to build on each other, and eventually your business seems to grow a little more effortlessly. So that sounds like a great concept, but has this ever been done before? So one great example and foundational example of this flywheel effect, and if you take a minute to think about it, you can really see how this has made such a big impact on Amazon. So Amazon created years ago this virtuous cycle that they thought they could generate, and that's really what got this concept of a flywheel to be something that more and more people talk about. So what they did is they started with selection. So they felt selection was the most important thing. So if you can remember back to Amazon in the 90s when it first came out, it was a bookstore. Well, they realized in order to have a bigger impact on e-commerce generally, they needed to have more than books out there. So they really focused on what can we do to have more products available on our site. And so they worked with a number of different suppliers and increased their selection. So once they increased their selection, they knew that they had an opportunity to provide a better customer experience because you could go there and you could get multiple things that you need instead of having to go to 5 different sites to get what you need. So that created a better customer experience, as well as they worked to optimize their customer experience and make the payment process easier. And then once they did that, that generated more traffic. So now they've got more and more activity on their website. And now with more and more activity on their website, it brought in more sellers. So now you have more people wanting to sell on the site because that's where everyone's going to find things. And so if they don't have their products out on Amazon's site, people aren't going to find them. So what does that do? That leads to having more selection available on their website. So this little virtuous circle really created that, continue to propel the selection that they had out there, which created a better experience, brought more traffic, brought more sellers. And then they created a parallel path where they lowered their cost structure because they were getting more activity on their site. They had an opportunity to lower their cost structure. And what that did is it led to lower prices. Now they're offering a bigger selection at lower prices. Well, what does that do? That creates a better customer experience, and then it keeps that whole flywheel going. So this is an example of how these strengths build upon each other in order to be able to create a wheel that keeps going and keeps generating. And if you are like most people, like me and my wife and most people out there, when you're looking for something today, you go to Amazon. Why? Because they have the best selection. And they're easy to work with. You know when the product is going to get there, it's going to come pretty quickly. And they did that all intentionally just by starting with increasing their selection in the beginning. So for Stone Ridge, I've been thinking a lot about what's our flywheel? How did we get to where we are today? And so I think about when we started Stone Ridge, I had spent 13 years at Microsoft, and the vision was we wanted to enable our clients' business in a better way than what we've seen done before. So I worked in support, I worked on escalated clients, And I saw a lot of partners I didn't think were really serving their clients very well. And so I wanted to do that a different way. And that allowed us to attract a few of the original people that joined Stoneridge. And fundamentally, the most important part of Stoneridge and our success has been around attracting the best people. That is the first step in our flywheel. We are a people-oriented business. We work with clients, and we're all about the people and the quality of the people and how ready they are to be able to interact with clients. So attracting the best people was step one in our goal. So once we have been able to attract the best people, then we said, well, what do we need to do next? And in order to take the next step to be successful, we need to be able to lay out our vision, and we need to make that vision compelling. We also need to create a great culture that's going to allow us to attract more of the best people. So we laid out this vision of being the best, most sought after implementation partner, at doing things differently than other partners had been doing before. We looked back on the history of my time at Great Plains Software and how great the culture was during that time, and tried to create that kind of flexible, empowering culture. And by doing that, we were able to then take the next step in our flywheel journey, which was we needed to make sure that we could deliver what we said we were going to do. So we needed to develop an implementation methodology. That's why we came up with our process-centric methodology that I talk about in the book. And we needed to make sure that our team was trained so we could do that in an effective way and repeat that kind of same approach with no matter who we're working with and no matter who you work with across Stoneridge. So that was the next big step on our flywheel, which was, again, helped by the fact that we have a good culture and we have a good vision for the business. Then the next step was to appeal to our target market. So first we needed to figure out we can't serve everybody extremely well. We needed to focus on areas like manufacturing and distribution and professional service and agriculture and nonprofits, because those were the businesses that we know well and that we can serve well and understand their business. So refining that allows us to be then more successful with the implementations that we do. And that allows us to build our deep client relationships. And those deep client relationships allow us to be able to create this as a frustration-free workplace or a better place to work, because we're working with clients where we're setting expectations and we have good relationships with them. That plus sprinkling in a focus on best-in-class tools and processes, again, allows us now to attract the best people. So again, this is the kind of wheel that we think about at Stoneridge, and how this keeps us rolling and keeps us growing as a business and serving our clients very well. But it all comes down to starting with attracting the best people. So with that, those couple examples of a flywheel, I just ask you to think about, what is your flywheel as a company? So what is the foundational differentiator that sets you apart from other people in your industry or just in general? Is it that you offer great selection? Is it that you're super easy to work with? Is it that you're local and you understand the local environment? Is it that you make the best products? Is it that you make the products at the lowest price? Whatever it is, that is your foundational differentiator. And then you can talk about how does that influence then another aspect that can be a unique capability for your business, and how does that wheel go around? I chose 6 different steps in the flywheel. You can choose whatever makes sense for you, but the idea is, how does it create some velocity to help enhance that first thing that's most important to your business? So if you take some time to think about that, you can really get to the root of what is it that we need to do well and even better in the future. So as you think about your flywheel, then it kind of comes back to, how can AI help you with where you're going to go in the future and help you create this 10x leap in the future? So I'd outline 6 key steps that I think are important for you to be able to really adopt AI and make this something influential for your business as you go forward. So if you think about how to get started on your journey, first, it just starts off with understanding what generative AI can do. I've got some videos out on the web. Everyone's got videos out on the web about generative AI and what it can do. So I encourage you to learn a little bit more, learn about what the heck a prompt engineer is, and some of these basics around what generative AI can and can't do. So that's the first step, is understand, does the thing that I want to do fall into the scope of what's possible? And the second step is just understand a little bit about the risks and the opportunities. So when I present on generative AI, there's usually questions about the risk and what could go wrong, and security and deep fakes and all this kind of stuff. So you want us to understand a little bit about that, but then you also want to understand what opportunities does it open up as well, even in terms of just creating efficiency within your business. Then the step 3, and I really encourage you to do this, is just to try it out. So you can now start using Microsoft 365 Copilot as part of your Microsoft 365 subscription. So reach out to us. We can help you get it started. Get started with just a few people using it right away, but they can start to see then how it can be useful for them in their business. And then step 4 is, after you've got people using it, you can start to figure out what are some of the best use cases for us as an organization. Like, what are ways that it can add particular value to our business? So you can start to build out those use cases for future reference. And then from there, you can start to develop your own business transformation plan. Okay, now I know what the use cases are. Now I know what my flywheel is and what the core fundamental capability that we have is. Now, how can I use that to actually transform our business and start to see this 10x vision come to play? And then the final thing that I got to mention, because it is fundamental to being able to take advantage of the AI capability, is you got to get your infrastructure into the cloud, and you've got to get your data in a clean place as well too. So if you want to use AI to do demand planning and tell you how many widgets you're going to ship next year, you need to be able to have good data over the past 3 years in your system, so it can take that information and give you a better view of where you're going to go. So if you haven't gotten to the cloud fully yet, I've been talking to a lot more clients these days that are moving 100% to the cloud, or actually are 100% in the cloud. And that's where you want to be, because that's where AI is going to be able to see this data and be able to take advantage of it. So make that a priority if it isn't already. So how can AI help with your long-term journey? So first, it can enhance your strengths. So thinking about what it is that you do really well today, there might be ways that it can enhance that by being able to communicate more quickly, or being able to share answers more effectively, or being able to do analysis on what products really sell well and which ones don't. It can enhance your strengths, but it for sure can enhance the efficiencies that you have in the business as well too. So again, creating content that you use internally, sending emails, doing customer service, doing warranty work, all of those things are areas where AI can create efficiency, allowing you to focus more on the thing that you do that's transformationally different. All right, with that, now I want to just take a few minutes to talk about what we're up to at Stoneridge, kind of share our state of the union address here. So we've had a great year growing the business as well too. We're up to about 350 people within the organization today, and we've been growing across the Americas. So in the US, we've continued to grow. We've actually grown our Canadian business quite a bit now. We've got 34 people, and we just recently did our opening of our new office in Winnipeg. And we're also excited to share that we've got resources in Mexico and Costa Rica as well. So I was just down there. We're working on getting our first office set up in Mexico City as well too. So we can kind of cover you across the Americas here, no matter what your needs are. And one key recognition that we just recently received was being named one of the top workplaces by USA Today here for 2024. So again, creating that great culture is so fundamental to our ability to attract and grow the best resources. That's a key part of our flywheel and how we've been successful at Stoneridge. We continue to deepen our Microsoft connections as well too. Microsoft introduced something new around gold and silver partners. Now they've got 6 solution partner areas. as well, and we qualify for 3 of them. We're also a Microsoft Cloud solution provider, which just gives us the ability to do licensing and to be able to help you across any of the subscriptions that you have across the Microsoft business products today. So if you have questions or concerns, or you're not happy with the provider that you have who's helping you with Microsoft 365 and Azure and those kind of things, we can help you with that. And then we recently got back from Inner Circle. So Inner Circle is the top 1% of Microsoft partners in business applications, and we're honored to be part of that for the 4th time this year. So that is a great opportunity for us to really connect well with folks from Microsoft, the leadership there. We've opened up a lot of conversations and capabilities there. And Lori Lampkin is going to join me, who's the corporate vice president at Microsoft around customer experience here at the end of the day, to do a little Q&A. And getting access to resources like that is really one of the big benefits of being part of Microsoft's Inner Circle. Also, we've expanded our technology focus. So for those of you who've been clients for a long time, you've known us for our Microsoft Dynamics 365, our finance and operations and CRM capability. We've been celebrated over 10 years now doing Business Central and Nav work. But you'll see from yesterday, we had our Power Platform conference. We're starting to do a lot more work with the Power Platform. So I really encourage you to check out some of those recordings. We've got a few sessions today on the Power Platform as well. But that low code capability just allows you to get things done so much faster. Last year, we announced that we have a team focused on Microsoft 365 and Azure. So that team has been growing and providing more capabilities across those 2 solutions as well. With Copilot, we're starting to see a lot more people move to Microsoft 365 and start taking advantage of those efficiencies in their business. And then our latest practice that we introduced this year was around BI, or we call it our data analytics practice. And so we're focused on Power BI and Fabric and those capabilities as well too. So if you've got reporting needs, got business intelligence needs, we can certainly support you there. And then of course there's Copilot. So we think of Copilot as really influencing all of the different areas of these technologies. So there's Copilot in Microsoft 365, but there's Copilot in all of these different products as well too. So we're training our whole team around being able to use Copilot, teaching them about the new functionality so they can help make that functionality real for you as well. So with that, let's look at what we've got on tap for today. So coming up next, we've got these 6 different stages that you can join. So we've got 6 different sessions kicking off here at 9:45, as you'll see below. And then I wanted to highlight a couple other key sessions that are coming up today. So Scott Frapier's got a Copilot Now. What can you do with it? It'll be starting at 10:50 today. I talked about data and data analytics as a key part of our new business practice. So Esteban, who leads our practice there, and Christopher will be talking about structuring your data for AI and BI success. And then, as I mentioned, I'll be wrapping up the day with a fireside chat with Lori Lampkin. But we've got some exciting prizes that you can get today as well too, just for participating in Stoneridge Connect. So we've got these 5 key prizes, from an Xbox to a gift card, that you can now receive throughout the day. And they're going to be done at random times throughout the day. So you'll need to be present in the sessions to be eligible for the drawing and to win. They're just available for folks in the US and Canada, but visit the reception area to see more ways that you can win there. And then finally, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for participating in our event today. Our mission as a business here at Stoneridge is to help our clients win. We do it through intentional leadership, by leading you through these implementations and taking you down the right path so you can be successful. Thoughtful teaching, and that's a lot of what today is about, to teach you more about what you can do with your system. And I'm really excited about the eye-opening possibilities side of it. So teaching you about new things that you can do that you hadn't thought of before. So that's what we're here to do at Stoneridge, and excited to be able to share that.